Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cadgroup webinar on the review workflows for an Autodesk Construction Cloud Docs. So I am just going to wait another minute for everyone to fully sign up and get their IT issues sorted out. So in a minute's time, I will officially start this webinar. Yeah. All right, I can see that all the registrants are slowly coming into this webinar now. So, yeah, so that's good. All right, cool. So, so this webinar will actually focus on the review function of the docs, which is this second icon from the top here. And so first thing first, I need to get some licensing and questions out of the way before we can kick off the actual demonstration of the review workflow. So right now, an Autodesk Docs, or when you say Autodesk Docs or ACC Docs, we use that interchangeably. So that comes with your AEC collections. So it's a single user by signing kind of license, meaning if you have assigned a user with the AEC collection in your office, that user will also get the Docs license. And if you have purchased BIM Collaborate Pro as well to have your Revit projects collaborate on your Revit projects in the cloud, you will get Docs, model coordinate, and the design collaboration. Also, that comes with the Docs license as well. Right. So then knowing that will hopefully will help you optimize the license usage inside your organization. So both those two things, AC Collections comes with Docs license, BIM Collaborate Pro and BIM Collaborate comes with Docs license as well. So so that's that. Then next thing, let's talk about and after you establish a project, how do you add the members into your project? Because that will become apparent later on when we assign different personnel onto the review workflow. So inside of these members, things are pretty straightforward in the beginning. You can just click on add members, put in the emails. If they are from a company that's already inside your directory, you can just add that. And if they are not recognized by the system, you can just type in ABC builders, for example, right? If they are not in the current company directory, you can just click on add a company, right? So that's pretty easy because you can add them directly by adding members, right? The next thing is rows. You notice here, you can't just assign rows. For example, if you go, if that's not some, for example, BIM coordinator, if that is not recognized by the system, you can't add the rows here, right? So that's a question I get asked before as well. So if you want to create a new role such as dot control, project architect, senior mechanical designer, if that's not in the system, how do we do that? Because it's very important to get that right before we establish the review workflows. So let me just show everyone how to do this next. Right. So when we sign into our projects, a lot of people don't even have this project admin and account admin, right? So project admin means you can add members and give them the corresponding softwares after products after you add them into your project, right? So right now for this webinar, all we needed is the docs thing. So we are good enough to just demonstrate the docs review by only having docs license. So every time you add a user inside this and ACC interface, it's important to assign the corresponding licenses to this user you are adding. So if you know that this user will only need a docs license to perform his or her duties for this project, you can just give them a docs license. But should they need, for example, to collaborate in the cloud using Revit, you need to also give them design collaboration and licenses. And here, depending on if the license has been assigned in the Autodesk account or not. So when we, for example, if I want to enable this design collaboration for my Autodesk ID here, once I click on this, it will actually search for if I have a design collaborate assigned to me, then it will decide if I can use this or not. Because if I didn't have a license assigned to me, it will just automatically trigger a design collaboration trial. That's why when people logged in, you will see a text at the top saying, oh, build is in trial mode, you have 25 days left, or this or that is in trial mode. It's because by accident, one of those products got enabled for this user when the system couldn't find a license that's assigned to this user in the Autodesk account license port. Yeah, so that it's explain that as well. So let me just turn this off because I don't need this for this demonstration. Then next thing, let's talk about project admins and account admins. Project admin, you can invite users, assign products to them, just like I was showing for the past 20 seconds. And account admin is the person who has the highest level of access in this account. So right now, only the account admins can create projects. So project admins can add members into the project that's already created and with him added in. Only the account admin can add projects under this account. The reason I'm bringing that to everyone's attention is roles is something that we need account admin level of access to modify, right? So here in the account admin, the last one, BIM 360 admin, here it's when we customize the roles, the companies, and the settings of it. So if you want to add another person in your organization as the account admin, because only account admins can create projects. So if you want someone to be also in charge with the task of creating new projects and administrating them, you click on this, right? So in here, it shows this is the account name, which is called Cadgroup ACC, and those are all the people that is nominated as the account admin for this Cadgroup account. So if you click on the plus sign here, you can just add another person. So this person does not necessarily need any products assigned to them, right? It just needs to be an email address where that person can log in and start administrating this account, right? Then next thing, we have this thing called rows. So because this function is hidden under the account admin tab, so only the account admin can add or remove rows. The reason is here, so for example, let's go senior architect, right? So right now, it doesn't return any search results for senior architect. So I have the chance to actually create this row. So once I create this row, if we move to the bottom, where's the senior? Yeah, we need to clear add, obviously. And we move back down to the bottom, senior architect, there you go, here, senior architect. So we can actually assign role-based access to this row. So if you go, I want all the senior architects in all the projects I create to have project admin, you can do that. Or if you say, I only want them to be a member for the docs, you can do that as well, right? So that is how to create a row, right? So back here, back to what I was in. So I need to go back to my project. So that will be this one, right? So we have talked about the companies and the rows here. So that goes back to, again, back to this members page. So every time when we add a member, you can choose what sorts of roles and the company this person is from. Yeah, so we need to get that right for the next part to move correctly. Right, so now we have the members moved in. Let's look at the folders. So inside the docs, it's very much like a file server. It's a lot of things, it's done through folders and ownerships. So for example, before the cloud, when we used to store our documents on your company file server, still there are folders that can only be accessed by the accounts. There are folders that can only be accessed by the project directors, and there are folders that can be accessed by draftsperson and designers. Right, so it's just in the past, all of those things was customized by the IT. It was done either through group policy or lots sorts of different things. So still, when you log into your computer, Windows already knows what kind of access level that you have to be able to see or not see some folders on your file server. But inside of the docs, it's the exact same principles. It's just we need to customize the permission or access for every folder when we create them. So this is actually a new change in the ACC docs as well. So in the past, we have above the line, you have this folder called a folder field, and at the bottom, you have project files, and in there, you have lots of folders. So now we don't have this folder field folder anymore, right? So the folder field folder, essentially, it's a folder where you can put any documents in there, and that will be visible to every person that's invited to the project. So the reason Autodesk got rid of that, because it became a little bit redundant, because look at here, I have this folder created called the public folder, right? So in here, if I check this permission settings, other than myself, you also have this thing. Let me see. Yeah, you have this entry called everyone, right? So to add that is very simple. You just need to go add, and you just type in everyone in here, and that will bring up this everyone choice as part of the access. So once a folder has everyone in it, you will be able to you can be assured that all the members that's invited to this project can see everything inside of this folder. Yeah. And because for this demonstration purposes, I have two disciplines in this project. You have the architects and you have the MEP engineers. For the architects, I have some permission settings. I have me and my colleague Mark. So I will be the architectural doc controller, and Mark will be the senior architect or project architect that signs off on the drawings. So that is the setup here. Then for the MEP engineers, I have the Cadgroup mechanical, which is I logged in the incognito. So that is, oh, sorry, let me just move that window over here. So I have also logged into this project as Cadgroup mechanical. You can see that those two accounts, Autodesk users, see different things, because right now I have access to every single folder. So that is all the folders that is sitting on the project files. And this Cadgroup mechanical only gets to see the folders that I have assigned to this ID. Right, so this user does not see the project docs, does not see the architects, he only sees this mechanical engineer. Right, so this, and when you do the drop down, you don't you don't see a lot of the functionalities that the project admin sees. So right now, I'm just gonna do first. So now I have explained the members, the companies, the roles, and the folder structure and access. Let's move on to actually creating a review workflow. Because review is one of the things that gets overlooked a bit, because you can't do any reviews until you create a review workflow. And you have to be a project admin to be able to see those two buttons here, right? So the settings it's where you create a workflow for the review. So right now, just for good measure. So if I go to reviews here, as the Cadgroup mechanical, which is a project member, not a project admin, this person will not see those two buttons here. So now if I try to create a review workflow, it wouldn't know what to do because there's no current workflow inside here, right? So let me just go back to the project admin, which is assigning as myself. So now if I click on settings, I will have this approval workflow, review workflow. Yeah. So if I click on that, you will have a lot of different options already baked in for for the docs to have all sorts of very complicated review workflows. So for this demonstration, I'm gonna do two workflows. The first one is internal, meaning a junior engineer, junior architect, he or she will go, all right, I finished this markup set. I just want to get a tick from the project architect before I'm able to send it out. So that is internal. So right now, currently in the office, a lot of those things just done with printouts. So you print this entire concrete profile series out and you put it on the senior architect's desk, and the senior architect will mark it up, and then you will have some markups, then it will find its way back onto the junior architect's desk, and more actions will be required to either remedy some of the things, or you say, all right, cool, this drawing is approved, you can just issue it. So right now it's still very much it's like a paper based, or you can have like things like a markups down in like either Bluebeam or something, and it gets sent back and forth, right? So after the markup set's down, after all the things are required to be changed, the changes are loaded back into Revit, being remedied, and the markup set just finds itself in the bin, right? So those kind of workflow happens all day, every day. That essentially is how professionals communicate with each other graphically. So this fits in this one-step approval, meaning the documents, the review will be generated by the person who like the drawing to be reviewed, then someone else will have a look at the drawing, either approve or reject them, right? So that will be the first one. So it will be a one-step approval. So let's go next. So here I give it a name. So I'll just go key internal review. Simple. Review markups. Yeah, review. All right, so this is used for internal reviews. So here we can assign different things to it, right? So first thing, initiator. So right now, I'm going to put on the hat as a document controller. So I have those documents that needs to be signed off by the senior architect before I can issue them. So I will be the person initiating this review. So I can and just save that. The final review, because this is a one-step review. So the next step will be the final step. So I will go, all right, the project architect, which is Mark, needs to be signing them off, needs to be stamping them before I can send this out to the architects. So here, sorry, to the engineers. So here you can customize how many days this review needs to take, because this is an internal review. I just change it to 1 day. So I'm expecting the review be returned to me with a tick or cross by the end of the day. Yeah. Then here you can go either approved, rejected, or approved with the comments. So if you deal with a lot of shop drawings, those are the exact three kind of categories. You can put them in approved, rejected, or you need very minor tweaks, but overall the drawing has no problems. You can also do approved with comments. So that is as well. But if you say, if I have comments, that's an automatic reject. You can do that here as well. And they all carry different icons should you want to change them. Yeah. And if you want to add more status, you can do here as well. So if you, like, I can't really think of anything else, but if your project calls for that, you have the capability to add more things here as well. So right now I just cross that out. Then at the end, here, you have some further actions this review workflow can do for you. So the first thing you can do is, once the file is approved, it will be automatically copied to the folder. So you can customize that should you want to. So for example, if you have a folder that just stores approved drawings, you can use this copy approved files to a selected folder. So right now, for example, here, I have this thing called approved drawings. Underneath there, you have architectural and MEP, right? So I go underneath arc, I have approved drawings. So I want approved drawings, architectural approved drawings to sit in this folder. You can customize that. Also, you can allow the initiator to change the target folder if you want, if that needs to happen. They can do that as well. Also, you have this thing called update attributes. So this just means when the drawings is currently being reviewed in the previous files tab interface, it will have a special column that displays in review status. So if we want to do that, we can do that as well. And once this drawing has been reviewed, that status will also update. Right, so that's essentially what all we needed to do. So just to quickly recap, give it a name, simple description, put an initiator, approval in it, because this is just a one-step review. Then the status here, if you want to customize them, you can do that. If you don't want that, leave it as it is, that's perfectly fine. Then after the drawing has been approved, you can also customize which folder the approved drawings will be copied to. So that's it, and you can include markups. So that's all very simple. Just leave them unchanged should you want it. And now we can save this review workflow. So now we have this, and this is one it says active because I just deactivated the couple of ones I was doing for tests. So this is the ones we just created, Archie internal reviews, right? Cool. So next thing, I'm actually going to send something for review now after all this. So we'll go to the files. I will go to the files I have in the architects folder, check them all, click the three dots, go submit for review. So here we can select the review workflow we have just created for this purpose. I will select this. It will already know everything it needs to know. See, all the settings we did already came up here. Next thing, I'll just go for, let's just go pretender review, pretender set for review. Yeah, give it a name so you can distinguish what between different reviews. So that's all done. You can put a date in here as well if you want. The next thing, I will submit this to review. Because the review workflow already knows the default reviewer is Mark. But here, if you want somebody to be CC'd in, you can do that as well. So right now, I'm not going to do that. But the people that's getting notified will know the review has been sent out, but they are not actually part of the review. They just need to know this package has already been submitted for review. Yeah, so next step, I will send it. So now, my colleague Mark will receive an automated email from Autodesk saying there's a package sitting there for review. And if you want to keep an eye on all those things has been sent out for review, here is the one we just sent out, pretender set for review, and it has the date on it. So if we click into this, this is the interface here. So we have already gone through the first step, which is initiating the review. So this box is gray. So now we are inside of this box. So this will be the final review. So this will be what my colleague will see on his screen as well. So he will have this thing with the final review. When he starts, click on start review, he will be able to click on every single drawing. He can put some markups on, he can put some text box on, and all the markup tools will be available for this review. And after that, he can approve or reject every single drawing individually. So he can approve 3 of them, reject the rest of it. That's completely up to him. So it's not like you have to accept the entire package or reject the entire package. It's all by drawings. Yeah. So that is all done. So I'll just wait for Mark to do something here before we can get some results here, right? So it says 6 files in review. Meanwhile, if I go back to the folder where the drawings are from, you have this thing called a review status. It will tell you those drawings are being reviewed at the moment. So if you don't see that in your interface, if you click on the gears here, this is how you can reorder them if you want. So you have this review status, because if it's very much towards the end, you won't be able to see it until you move your entire screen, move this scroller to the end. So if you want to see that right here, you can actually pick this up, review status. You have a little, see, when it turns into a hand, you are able to move this so to whichever position that it's easier for you. So for example, if I want to move it up next to the revisions, it would do that as well. So you just have to move it here. You can't just move it here. It won't let you do that. Right. Okay, so that is how you see the review status here. Right. So the next thing I'm going to, because this is very straightforward. Yeah, you create something, you have the drawings there, you send them to review. The review workflow will take care of who's initiating it, who will be reviewing it. Then the rest of it, you just click next, next, next. Everything is already sorted for you. And this review icon here will keep a track on all the different packages that get sent in for review and how those reviews are currently doing. Yeah. And the next thing so just as we were speaking, so Mark obviously clicked on something. So now this is says review is closed, means he has done the review. He has commented on every single drawing here. So here, those are the drawings that it's displayed as approved. And this drawing has some comments. So if I click on this drawing, it has, all right, no changes to reception desk. So the comments are displayed in here. Right, and the review is closed. So if you click on every single drawing here, if I go here, so that will tell you if there's any markups, it will show you the markups on them, and you can actually identify the actual area that needs to be remedied. Yeah, so very straightforward. And it says review has been closed, and it tracks the time it has been closed. That's all good. And after the review has been closed, because I have customized the review workflow to approve the drawing, to move all the approved drawings to this Archie folder. Wait a minute. Has those files been moved? Wait, let me check. Approved drawings, Archie. Have I made a mistake? Settings. Any file in the review is approved, move to project file, drawings arc, right? Okay. Well, sometimes it's a lag. Yeah, let's see if they will appear soon. So those are the approved ones. So they should appear in this folder. Right. So, okay, just when we are waiting for this, let's move on to the next part. So the next thing will be when you have cross-organizational reviews. Sorry, I'm just checking. Someone raised their hand and asked the question. Right. Correct. Approve the drawings. Request the folder permissions of a project admin to try again. No copies. Wait a minute. So let's see this approved drawings. Permission settings. Okay, so that will require Mark. So the reason nothing has shown up here is because Mark needs to have the right permit to this. So essentially, the system is registering Mark. It's trying to copy those files over. Right, so we need to give Mark Mark's upload. So we need to give Mark this for this to work. Good. I didn't even know that. That's good, because we're gonna do another review workflow. Let's keep an eye on this. So now we understand this permission thing can get quite tricky in this review workflow. So next thing, what I'm trying to do is I am going to emulate another scenario. It's when you have a mechanical engineer trying to send a bunch of drawings for the architects to review, right? So this will be, again, because here the mechanical engineer here, like I was showing before, it's only a project member. So this person won't be able to create the workflow. So it's still the task of creating this workflow falls on the project admins, right? So right now I'm going to go back to the reviews and go on settings and create another approval workflow. So that will be a two-step approval because I want the mechanical engineer to submit the drawings, and the first person looking at it will be the dot control of the architect side. So once the dot control and checks all the drawings are submitted correctly with the right revisions and it fits the purpose of this review, then it will move on to the project architect to check the actual drawing content of this review, right? Yeah, right. So next thing, this is what, sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on the questions. Yeah. So two steps approval. So backtracking, initial review will be going to the dot control on the architect side. The dot control makes sure the drawings are all there. It's the right amount of the drawings. It's the correct revision of the drawings. Then it advances to the project architect's court, and the project architect will check the actual content of this drawing. That's why we have two steps over here. Right, so let's go next. So this will be Mac drawings for review. Right. Okay, so description, you can just type in whatever. An initiator will be the mechanical designer. So that is Cadgroup mechanical. So we save this. Next thing, step name, next reviewer will be the dot control from the architects, which will be me. So my name will be in there. And the third thing will be, again, final review. That will be Mark, the project architect. So the first turnaround will be 1 day. And because this is pretty complicated, we gave Mark 3 days to review this. And all of those things we have already gone through, that will be the same thing. Next thing is, again, let's not fall into the trap again this time. So any files that's approved, let's select the folder. That will be the approved drawings mechanical, right? So the updated attributes, everything will be the same. So, right, so let's save this. So that workflow has been created. So before we send any drawings to review, let's check that the mechanical folder has the correct permissions. So right now it will be me. Let me just add Mark there because Mark will be the final reviewer. So he should be the person that has this edit level of access to this folder. Now hopefully the files will be copied over here once the review finishes. Right, so that's what I'm gonna do. So that's all good. So let me switch heads. So let me bring over the mechanical designer. So now I'm signed in as Cadgroup Mechanical. Go to the files. So now this is something very important now, right? So right now, because this mechanical person only has the mechanical folder visible to him. So if he sends something to the architect, while the architect do not have this mechanical engineer folder, for example, then the architects won't be able to see any drawings that's inside of this review. Yeah, so this happens on projects when architects have an architect folder, mechanical engineer have a mechanical engineer folder, and they are not in each other's folders, which is what this whole thing is about. You know, you don't overstep your line. So when this happens, this is something that's special we need to do when we're sending drawings to people that's outside of this organization, right? So the extra step we need to do here is we need to actually first copy all the drawings to a folder that is accessible to everyone, or at least the person you're sending this for review. So this is why in the beginning, I have created this folder called the public folder. and the public folder has everyone able to access it. So because here I'm just a project member, you see, I cannot change the permission for this folder, right? So if you want the permission of the folder to be changed to suit your new workflows, you have to either send a request to the project admin or you request to be made project admin yourself. So usually how the project set up is every discipline, they will have at least one project admin that can carry out those tasks. So when the junior mechanical engineer finds out this or that doesn't work, it's because the folders are not visible to him or her, then at least this request can be dealt with internally. Yeah. So right now, because I'm a mechanical designer, I don't have project admin. I cannot actually change the ownership of any of those folders. But that does not stop me from getting this review initiated. So first thing I need to do, I need to grab the drawings. I need to move this to a folder that's accessible to everyone. Right now, I have this thing called project engineers. I am going to copy all those drawings to the mechanical engineers for review. Yeah. So I copy them over. So it should just take a second for those drawings to be available in here. Right. So, okay, I have some different names. Oh, this is not gonna help me. It's all right. It's every second one. Let me do the last updated. Okay, that helps me a little bit. So those are the ones I just copied over. No, wait, that's not the one. Yeah, that's it. Right, because today it's the 30s. Good. So that's all the drawings I have just copied over, right? And after that, it will be exactly the same thing. You click on the dots, submit for review, then approval workflow. Note that this is the only workflow I can see, right? Because when we set workflows, we need to nominate the person who can initiate the workflow. Although we have two workflows in the project, but this is the only workflow that is initiated by Cadgroup Mechanical. So this person will not be able to see any other workflows that is not initiated by himself, right? So this saves you going through all the list saying, all right, what I'm gonna do with all of this. Because although there can be many workflows in the project, you will only see the workflow that you can initiate. So right now, this is my only choice. Click on that, and everything is already set up for me. So that will be Mac first review. Yeah, all the drawings are there, the ones I have selected. I submit that. Then if I want anyone to watch this, I can nominate anyone that is in this project. So I go send. So the review has been initiated, right? So from then on, this mechanical designer really got nothing he needs to do. All of those things are in review now. Then he can just wait for the board is in the other corner. He can just wait for response. So now if I go to review, so this is the review I have just created, the Mac first review, because I am the second person that needs to do this, right? Pending review by myself. So I just go start review, and the initial review will be assigned to me. So start review. And then now I have all the drawings available to me. I can click on the drawings. I can try to make some markups, put some text on. So in here, so for example, I zoom in here, and I can put clouds on. Right. If I want to go check height, I can put them in here. I can change the font size, they're pretty standard, yeah. And make sure you publish those markups so everyone can see it. Right, so that will be my markup here. Right, and then if I have any comments, I can add comments in here saying, check if this is the correct revision. I can put them in here and add, and the comment will be added in here. So after all of that, the last step is I need to either approve or reject them. Yeah. So let me go cross this out. So if I go here, sorry. And because I am not the final approval here, I don't have this approval reject because that is something that gets triggered in the final review. So I put all my corresponding markups on and I go, all right, done. I'm happy to pass this on now. So I just go submit review. So go drawings, the correct revision and whatever you want to put in there, you go there, submit that. So now this will be moved down to the final review. You see the other box lights up now. So now Mark will get a notification saying there's a package waiting to be reviewed. Then in this step, I can, again, still have a chance to CC somebody in on it. If I don't want to do that, I just go send, and that's it. I will just wait for further action from Mark. And cool. Okay, change. Okay. Cool. So just wait for that. So, all right. Meanwhile, let's check if the previously approved drawings got moved here. There you go. So as soon as I add this approved drawing, give Mark the permission to write to this folder, the previously approved drawings got copied here, right? So right now, because Mark don't see this MEP engineers, what he's actually reviewing is the files we have copied for review. It's those drawings that's currently being reviewed. It's the ones I just updated today. So it's those August 30 drawings that's currently being reviewed, and it was copied to this folder by Cadgroup Mechanical, right? Because this is a folder that everyone has access to. Yeah, permission settings that everyone is in here. Okay, so just wait until this drawings are being actioned by Mark, and then that will pretty much explain what this review workflow needs to do. So basically, I've been talking for 40 minutes now, right? Because we have pretty much set up everything. So the two most important things with review workflows. So first thing first is that you need to give people the correct level of correct level of project. Like when you add a member, you have to be sure they are from the correct company, they are from the correct roles. Also, for the person who needs to modify the review workflows, that person needs to have at least the project admin level of access. So that is one thing that's important. So make sure that when you want to give someone the project admin, you just need to click on the member, then change the, not a row, access level from project member to project administrator, because only the project administrator can create review workflows. Second thing is, after that it's done, the second thing is the access levels of different folders. So for internal reviews, because both the person that's initiating a review and approving the review, those two people have the same level of access because they are from the same discipline. So when I was the architectural doc control, sending documents for project architects for review, we are all looking at the same file in the same folder, and that it's not going to have any problems. But when you have cross-organizational review workflow set up, we have to be very aware that the folders we have access to might not be accessible by people from the outside of the organization. So when that is the case, which is what I demoed in the second workflow, we have to get the mechanical engineer to copy those drawings into a designated folder called for review, which is accessible by everyone. Then the review will be initiated from that folder. Then you can be sure that the architects gets to see what the actual drawings you're trying to get reviewed. Because if you send the drawings directly from the MEP engineers folder, when the architects don't have access to that, the review will still be created. But once the architects click into the review, he just sees blanks. because he doesn't have access to that folder. So this is why I also wanted to show everyone this cross-organizational review workflow. So that's pretty much all we need to do. So project admin versus project member, also internal versus external review, and that it's all done through this public folder for review folder. Right, so when we are talking, let's see if Mark has done something. Okay, cool. So this review has also been closed. So Mark has ticked off all those drawings. Now the review status are here as well, because that it's added in the final review process. And after that, if we go to the files, let's see the approved drawings. So for the MEP engineers, those drawings are in there now. So that's pretty much all I'm trying to show everyone for today's webinar. All right, so let me just go through the questions and see what has been asked. Oh, geez. Sorry, the windows are jumping around. Okay, so Paul, you have a question. So can we please get a recording of this excellent webinar of docs? Okay, cool. So if you want a recording of this webinar, after the webinar, email support@cadgroup.com.au. Then I will reply with the recording of today's webinar. It usually takes an hour or two for the recording to compress before I can send out the link. But if you want the recording, just email support@cadgroup.com.au. Just say requesting for docs webinar, and I will reply once I actually have that link. Yeah. All right, so it seems everyone it's okay. So right now, if you have questions, feel free to type them in. And if I don't see any questions, I will just end the webinar today. All right, so I'm just gonna wait another minute. If you have any questions, feel free to go for it. And if not, I'll close this webinar after a minute. All right, all good. So yeah, no questions. All right, so yeah, I'll close the webinar, and thanks again for everyone to watch this webinar on your lunchtime. I know how precious lunchtime can be, and hopefully today's webinar will assist you in utilizing docs a lot better than what it's capable of. All right, thank you everyone, and have a good day.